So I was listening to this interview with Paddy Galloway, who is one of the leading YouTube consultants helping creators, companies, and even big brands grow their YouTube channels. And it just happens that one of his biggest clients is Red Bull. Yes, that Red Bull. And then the conversation with Colin and Samir evolved around how big companies are not actually capitalizing on YouTube as a traffic source for their business by not creating their own content or just doing a bad job at it. And the more you go deep, the more it makes sense. So as a young strategist myself, inspired by Paddy, I took hours out of my time to synthesize this particular idea that Paddy preached and turned it into a simple system that any business or creator could use. And so the point starts with the fact that there is a massive opportunity that a lot of companies could use, whether big billion-dollar companies, multi-million-dollar companies, and even, your normal companies. And we're already seeing that, so you don't actually have to be a billion-dollar company. And the massive opportunity lies in owning an entire attention market. And there's proof that it actually already works. You see, most brands are happy to let influencers review their products. Like, they're not even paying them to do so. Like cars and phones and even software. And what's interesting about this is that they're not actually owning their audience, but letting other people own their audience. Just think about cars. A car is the second biggest investment anyone could make after buying a house. And where do people go to actually get the information about like what car they want to buy? They go to YouTube. So content already exists, and there's proof it already works. But companies are not capitalizing on that yet by creating their own content. And the interesting thing is that on the interview, Paddy said that there was an automobile company he's discussing with to like make a deal and to work together. It's kind of like the idea of like the first who moves wins first, because even the videos that these companies are already creating are just bad. They're just like for the so-called marketing, and they're not native to the platform itself.
And if you think about a brand like Target, so Target has a YouTube channel, right?
Is it good?
It's not good. No, it's not good. And Target's a massive brand. And you think about this context of Target, it's like, how does Target not have Supermarket Sweep as a show?
Yeah.
How do they not do it? The thumbnails right there, the like whatever you can put in the cart, you take is such a clean format. It's very easy.
Let alone they have so many creators now who have products in Target that they could integrate into the episodes.
Like one of the best examples, and it's Red Bull. You see, when you look at Red Bull's channel, it feels like a content made for YouTube specifically, whether long form or short form. And in their content, they don't even promote their products, which is kind of crazy. Sure, like they have logos and whatnot, but you don't see Max Verstappen drinking a Red Bull. You know what I mean? It sells the idea of being great at sport. Sure, they have the budget and a team, but really, even the execution is good and people could learn from it. Like, for example, this video about like Formula One car versus the fastest drone and how it was framed as a versus content. And the reality is that a drone will never ever outspeed a Formula One car. That's like, it will never. And Paddy mentioned, because he worked on that video with his team, that, if the video was like something, a fastest drone tries to keep up with a Formula One car, it would still get a lot of views because, you have the best driver in the world, Max Verstappen, and like a fastest drone. But the difference between tries to keep up, like people already know the solution. Like, there's no curiosity. It means that the drone isn't fast enough. But when it was framed as Formula One car versus fastest drone, then we have some tension and curiosity. And looking at other content being produced, even same for cars, like the car reviewers and film reviewers, as we mentioned. And just the idea of like, what if these companies can actually make their own content and turn those viewers into leads, and then turn them into clients and essentially owning a space instead of letting some other influencer own it. There aren't good examples when it comes to like big companies, or maybe the nothing company like the nothing phones. Instead, we have other companies that have a lot of potential, but they're just not doing a good job. Like Shopify has this huge database of sellers and merchants who made hundreds of thousands of dollars and millions, tens of millions of dollars. They're even willing to pay Emma Chamberlain and Mr. Beast to do advertising for them, which is cool. And, I wouldn't say it's a stupid move. That's actually great. But the wasted potential of the interviews they're already doing, I mean, is this the type of content you'd want to click on? I mean, this isn't really inviting to click on and to watch. I mean, and the more you look at it, you realize that this stuff already works for businesses. Like we have individuals and entrepreneurs like Iman Gadji and Alex Hormozy, who sure don't have billion-dollar companies, but they made millions of dollars from creating content. The idea of a CEO creating their own content, especially video content on YouTube and its long form, might be intimidating or even like considered like a waste of time. But, if these people are doing it, then it's already working. But if someone is a CEO and they don't even feel comfortable recording content, they can choose another platform to create content, like maybe written content, LinkedIn, or maybe audio content like podcasting. And there's always a solution to create content. But there's an interesting idea when the discussion with Paddy and Colin Samir, kept going. There was this suggestion of like these big companies that like the big companies could, for example, get creators in-house and give them creative control because they know what they're doing. They just like gotta give them like the resources and the money, and they move them in-house because, for example, like creators could themselves like be burnt out, and like, it's hard to transition from a creator to a business owner, entrepreneur, and run your own thing. And so maybe you could look at someone who's successful, like, for example, I don't know, reviewing some type of product or doing videos about it, and then you move them in-house and like you give them like stability to create content for your company. And if this shows anything, it shows that any business entrepreneur, whether small or big, has a chance to essentially own a market by creating content that is native to the YouTube platform and not just big companies. It's easy to look at this video by the end and say, well, yeah, sure, these companies have millions and billions of dollars. Of course, they can afford to create content. But even to this day, we have small YouTube channels and making money from it by making niche videos for their specific audience, solving their specific problems. And so don't let this discourage you from creating your content for your business. Whether you're a small company, big company, it doesn't really matter. And if you even would like an environment that is suitable for creating content alongside other entrepreneurs, then you can join the group in the description run by me, where there are resources and personalized feedback you can benefit from. So yeah, have a good day, good night.